The U.S. is one step closer to a government shutdown after Senate Republicans blocked the funding bill late Monday night. The sticking point is over the inclusion of the debt ceiling in the bill. Republicans say they will not support any measure to raise the debt ceiling over concerns Democrats will pursue trillions in extra spending and other policy changes. If lawmakers don't reach an agreement, the federal government will close at 12:01 a.m. on Friday. A government shutdown could have a direct impact on Americans and hundreds of thousands of federal employees. For more on this, I want to bring in CBS Moneywatch reporter Aimee Picchi. Hi, Aimee. Welcome. So lawmakers have until end of day Thursday to approve legislation to fund the government. What direct impact will this have on Americans if the government shuts down?
Yeah, that's right, Tanya. So what will happen is that all non-essential services done by the federal government will stop. And, what that means is that each federal agency will determine what it considers essential and what's not essential. For most people, the way you're going to feel it is like if you want to go to a national park, it's likely they're going to be shut down if there is a shutdown on Friday. If you need help from the government, if you need to call somebody at the government, like say the IRS, to ask a question, chances are you're not going to be able to get help. If you need to get a permit from the federal government, likewise, is probably not considered an essential function, and that also will be shut down. There also could be some implications for home buyers. In the 2013 shutdown, the IRS stopped verifying income and Social Security numbers, and that led to a delay of 1.2 million mortgages. Eventually they caught up and people got their mortgages completed. But, people are buying homes right now. We know the real estate market is very hot. So that could throw a wrench into some people's plans and delay closings of mortgages and other loans.
So, Aimee, as of April, 1 in 8 Americans are on food stamps. If the government shuts down, would that also delay the processing of food stamps? And what other much needed services would be affected, the kind that people rely on, on a daily or weekly basis?
Right. That's a really good question. So interestingly, there are some programs that are mandatory. One of them is food stamps. And so the funding for the food stamp program will not be impacted. There is a little twist, though, in that the delivery of the food stamps could be impacted if the shutdown lasts more than 30 days. In the shutdown from 2018 to 2019, that was avoided by the Agriculture Department prepaying or paying the benefits early. So they avoided that delay of getting those benefits out. Again, that shutdown, though, in 2018, 2019 was a record long shutdown. It was 35 days. Most shutdowns don't run that long. So there's probably a low risk that could happen to food stamp recipients. But it's also important to understand that there are many mandatory programs that will not be impacted. For instance, Social Security. Social Security checks will continue to go out. Medicare and Medicaid are also will be continued because those are mandatory programs. So many of the essential services that Americans rely on will go on without any issues. The problem could come though if people are applying for benefits or if they're trying to get some information or help and some assistance with those programs, that could be impacted. So that's something to be aware of.
So, Aimee, as you just mentioned, there was that partial government shutdown in 2018 that lasted an epic 35 days. That shutdown was costly. I wonder if the government does shut down again and it lasts anywhere near that amount of time, what sort of impact could it have on a nation still in the midst of a pandemic?
Yeah, it's really hard to know at this point, but we do know that from that record-long shutdown 2018 to 2019, the immediate cost was about, I think, $11 billion. Some of that was recouped because people go back to work, they get back pay, but there was a loss of $3 billion in GDP due to that. So some of it, was a hit. And the other thing you have to understand is that workers who are furloughed will get their back pay, but they're essentially being paid not to work. And so that is also a hit to some extent to productivity and to the essential functions or the functions of the federal government. So at this point, it's hard to know just because we don't know, first of all, will it happen? And then secondly, how long will happen? But every day that it goes on does add to the costs to taxpayers and, the lives of citizens.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Aimee Picchi, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Tanya.